Hello and welcome to the second week of This Week in Games. We have a bunch of interesting topics to talk about. We are going to be covering Apple's lawsuit, updates on that with Epic Games. We're going to be covering some Cyberpunk news, and we're going to be covering just a few more things. We have some headlines at the bottom if you're interested. Look those up on your own. Some of them are related, some of them are not. So you'll have to just look on your own if you think you want to. So we're going to jump right into the first one. We have some sort of bad news for Melee fans out there. But the Big House, which is a large online tournament, has been hit with a cease and desist from Nintendo. So we'll read out their tweet here. The Big House is heartbroken to share we've received a cease and desist from Nintendo of America Incorporated to cancel our upcoming online event. We were informed we do not have permission to host or broadcast the event, primarily due to the usage of Slippi. Sadly, all of our online competitions are affected. We are forced to comply with the order and cancel the Big House online for both Melee and Ultimate. Refund information will be sent shortly. We apologize for those impacted. So, big suck. This is pretty bad news for fans of the Smash scene. You know, online is really where most of the tournaments are happening right now, but Big House, I think, has been primarily online, and they just got smacked down by Nintendo for using Slippi. If anyone doesn't know, Slippi is essentially, it's an emulator, which is why Nintendo is being probably so hard on this, but it has been the best emulator for online services. Someone on Reddit calling it the gold standard for 1v1s, simply because of the networking power they have. And we have a nice little quote from Reggie.
Fun, why bother?
Which kind of encapsulates the idea here. No one is happy with what Nintendo is doing. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give any lawyer advice. But when it does come to it, it's very sad. Nintendo has a history of doing this. They did it in Evo 2013. Nintendo shut down the stream. They tried to also shut down the event, but they shut down the stream of Smash Bros. Melee in the 2013 event. The way that it even got to this event in the first place was by winning a fundraiser where different games, whoever fundraised the most for breast cancer research, would get a spot in the Evo tournament, and Melee won by a good amount, and Nintendo wanted to stop that, which is just a huge representation of how disconnected Nintendo is from the state of games. Nintendo makes such good games, but that is literally almost all they're good at. It always sucks. Nintendo always seems to be the poster child of game companies that are doing scummy stuff and related to taking down streams, taking down YouTube videos. Now we have a Twitter user bring up some interesting points. This VJ Dark World, they're not anyone of significance, but neither am I, right? So we'll read a bit of this to answer some misconceptions real quick. Slippi legality, legal due to it being emulation. Streaming legality. In Japan, permission/license to stream a game is required, and if Nintendo personally hates the concept of Slippi, they can slap the law down on the streaming side, which then he goes into say the streaming problem also applies to USA. However, the non-JP companies haven't exploited this yet. This has been a problem with all companies. Another example, YouTubers that sub to Japanese pro wrestling channels have been bombed by dmca strikes. And then he goes to say, USA is built different. In theory, game streaming is a transformative work based upon person's unique commentary and gameplay. However, until a lawsuit or Supreme Court case is won and legal precedent is established, the defense has no power. Which is very true, right? Every single US game company right now has the power if they want to stop people from streaming their game. And for the most part, all these, big game studios are smart. They know that streaming games is something that will give them value, especially with multiplayer games. There might be an argument for single player games where if I buy the game, it's because I want to experience a story. Last of Us. If I watch my favorite streamer play Last of Us, am I less likely to purchase Last of Us as a result? And the answer is probably yes, right? Because once I know the story, that is a huge part of the game, and I just have less of a reason. So there is that, gray area of it, which is more valuable to the game company. But when it comes to multiplayer games, when it comes to Call of Duty, Battlefield, you have large companies paying streamers to play their game because they know how valuable it is. So there's probably no risk of any large AAA studio stopping that from happening, right? Sending out strikes or trying to send cease and desist to people that are playing the games. And this seems to solely revolve around the fact that they are using an emulator. At least that is the scapegoat that they're using for this. And Nintendo is just, a little backwards when it comes to a lot of things. Unsure if they're pressured, in theory, as a copyright holder, you would have to perform actions that show that you are protecting your own copyright. And if you fail to do that, that I think that puts your copyright in danger. and I don't know if that's a different extent in Japan. You know, they have to be more serious about it. But it's just an unfortunate thing. So, it sucks. Hopefully, this is figured out. Hopefully, they can come back. Hopefully, this will come back. Hopefully, Nintendo gets the stick out of their ass at some point. But, you know, showing their track record, I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, because that would be suicidal. That's unfortunate. We're gonna move on to our next topic, which is still DMCA related. And if you're interested in doing this, click on something on the screen, and I'll bring you to the next video.